Good evening, I'm Randy Rue, and my project, the Capstone project, is on the tool crib improvements, actually here at Dunwoody. So if nobody's familiar with that, probably most of you are, it's located over in the machine shop. So what they do there is they actually provide tool bits and supplies and stuff to the students. So this room happens to be adjacent to kind of the main tool crib room. So they have a lot of clutter stuff throughout the class or throughout the room, and so that was kind of my project, is to kind of go through and organize that. And obviously, as you can see from my problem statement, just go through and organize it to make it more efficient and actually safe for the workers in the tool crib. So this is my first outcome. So you can read here, kind of the same as what a lot of the other ones have been for the connected learning objective. And then obviously my deliverable is the 5S. So as you can see, what I ended up doing is kind of going through the sorting, worked with the actual manager and the attendant in the tool crib, and defined and kind of went through what they use regularly, what they don't use, and what hasn't been touched in years. So, and actually threw most of that away. So kind of clean things up. So from there, went ahead and set things in place, obviously, and then cleaned up the shelving and stuff. Worked with the users, obviously with the manager and stuff of the tool crib. So the last thing that we did was standardized and sustained. So what we did, once we had everything sorted and set in place, we went ahead and put labels on there. One of the challenges that we dealt with was a lot of the stuff within the tool crib gets relocated to different areas. So the labels that we made up, we printed on magnetic back tape, so they could actually take and relocate if they need a larger area. So for the items, they can actually easily take the labels, relocate it, and then provide the larger area. So some of the things I learned with is kind of a bunch of us have talked with other people, is communicating, working with the attendants, the managers, and then one of the challenges obviously is having multiple users. So there's different instructors that come in and put their carts that they use daily for classes. So we had to work with them to assign a spot to where they could put their stuff in there. So here's kind of a before and after shot of one of the areas. As you can see here, everything's kind of disorganized. Multiple bottles are placed in, various places. So after we went through, sorted everything, we put the labels, and here they're magnetic labels, so they can take those off and move them around as they need to. One of the results of, obviously, the 5S is made it more efficient for the users to identify and locate where the items are that the students come in and request. So this helped kind of speed up the process, made it more efficient, and then also if they get new attendants coming in to help out in the tool crib, they can easily identify and locate the equipment and the items that the students need. So one of the follow-ups from this is they have 5-gallon oil jugs that they hand pump to fill some bottles that they hand out for the machine shop. So one of the things that's kind of in the process, kind of due to cost budget constraints, is they're going to have, we designed kind of a storage shelf that they can actually take and slide the 5-gallon buckets into the storage shelf, and then so that from there they can just take and turn a spigot and fill the jugs. But it also vertically saves space, floor space. So it's in the works. The manager has been working with the welding shop to hopefully get that made up so that we can go ahead and put that in later. So here's my second outcome with kind of standard tests and measurements, learning objective, and then my deliverable is a cost-benefit analysis. So, kind of going through the cost-benefit analysis, first thing that I went through and did is I met with the manager and kind of identified what costs it would actually take to implement the 5S, the standard work procedures, and documented them in the Excel sheet. And then kind of using for some labor costs, I had asked for, and it gets kind of personal with the people that actually work there, what their actual labor rate is. So instead what I did is I went to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and kind of found what their task was, and then used that as a dollar reference for an hourly rate in my costs. So the other thing is went through, identified what the benefits were, so, and documented those, and obviously used those to compare against what the costs were, and discovered that within 1 year, the implementation costs would be paid back. So, one of my learnings from this is to kind of go through and make sure that you capture all the costs and all the benefits. And kind of a challenge with the benefits is to estimate what your benefit would actually be. So what I kind of took was figuring kind of on the low side, so you don't want to overinflate your benefits and compare it to the costs, because all of a sudden if you discover that it's not going to be cost benefit to implement a project, you could actually be misconstruing the numbers and not even do the project, when in turn it could actually save you a lot of money in the long run. So here's kind of my chart. So you can see after the initial costs and after 1 year, here's kind of the labor rates that we did for estimating. It would actually pay for itself within 1 year. So this is kind of part of the 5S, going through labeling, support labor, and then this is kind of the results of efficiencies, improving efficiencies. So locating the tools kind of cuts down what you would actually save. So the result was, it was a good benefit to go actually through and do the 5S project. So another outcome for design system components processes, my deliverable was standard work. So here, I actually, as you can see from one of my other deliverables, the time study, we studied the process of them actually taking and filling a white coolant jug that they hand out to the students and use while they're machining. And what they would actually do is they would take the bottle and have to fill it up with a water-soluble oil, and then have to add water, shake the bottle, take a look at it, and then see, well, does it meet the consistency that they want? So that could vary depending upon which attendant was adding the oil. There was no measurements, no standards or anything set in place. So what we ended up doing was actually establishing a standard to where we converted it from filling the bottles to a 5-gallon jug. This way that we knew exactly it was a 1.5 jugs of oil per 5 gallons of water. So what they would do is, as soon as the 5 gallons ran out, they would go ahead and apply the oil, add the water to 5 gallons, shake it, and the consistency was always there. Now all they had to do is just turn the spigot and fill their spray bottle. So one of the other things kind of with the standard work is with the safety is eliminated trip hazards. So kind of going through and putting in the future this oil rack, they won't be tripping over the barrels or reaching over the barrels to try and fill the pump. So this way here, it will all be organized. They can walk right up and then dispense their oil that they need to. So here's the standard work procedure that we did. So as you can see, this is the 5-gallon jug, and then this is the oil that they'll go ahead and fill it up 1.5 times, and then fill this up to 5 gallons of water. And their consistency and their quality is improved because they follow this standard. Now every time they go to fill, doesn't matter how much coolant they need in the bottle, they always know it's the right amount. This is one of my other outcomes, where identify, analyze, and solve problems. Inventory management is my deliverable. So through this process, they have storage bins in the tool crib where they store tools, miscellaneous bits, and stuff that the students will come and check out. And kind of working with the manager, I talked to him as far as how they have actually handled ordering parts and stuff in the past. And it's a matter of him being told that, hey, we're out of this component or we're out of that component, we need to order more. Or he just kind of takes a guess and says, all right, the students have been, this project started, they've been ordering or taking out more of these bits, maybe I should order some more. So you get a lot of over and under stocking. So one of the things that they had also looked into in the past was actually implementing a barcode scanner program, but kind of due to the costs and stuff, they never were able to do that. So what I came up with was the Kanban cards. So it's a simple little card that they can fill out and identify what drawer, and he's got it color coded, which is kind of nice, so it's a drawer and a color. They can write what the actual product is, and then put the quantity reorder point in on the card. So then they can take the card, put it in the drawer, and as the attendants are pulling out the components, then they can go ahead and see, okay, there's 5 left. The reorder point says 5 on the Kanban card. They can pull it out and bring it over to the manager, and then he can go ahead and order the quantity that he needs. So the future project that they're actually looking at is one of the attendants works for a nonprofit organization that they're going to come in and work out a software package and kind of try and implement the actual barcode scanners with that. So that's kind of in the works and stuff with the manager. Here's a picture of the Kanban cards. I printed those out on index card paper, so it's a little thicker. So they can go ahead and write whatever product that they need to, put the color in the bin location, and then the reorder point, and then they can contact Ron for reordering. The other thing that this offers is they can go ahead, sometimes he relocates where the components are, so they can easily just grab a new card, fill out the new location, and then go ahead and put it in that drawer. The result, obviously, from this is kind of avoids the understocking and overstocking, reduces the overstocking. So, kind of my final result is organization, helped kind of doing the 5S, help improve the workers' efficiency in identifying and finding the components throughout the tool crib. Also the safety, kind of keeping things clean so they're not tripping over anything. With the inventory management, it helps control cost due to overstocking and understocking of components. Some of my key learnings, obviously, is paying attention to detail, working with the manager and the attendants, getting their feedback, so that kind of leads into working as a team, getting their input, and then kind of deciding what the best solution is for them. The 5S was to look at the whole picture, what I learned, and kind of break it out. You may walk into a room and think that this is overwhelming. Well, when you kind of start breaking it out and focus on this area, you do that, it makes it a lot easier, going throughout the whole 5S process. So, and then kind of the last was minor changes can save major costs. So the little things you think, hey, this little change really isn't going to do a whole lot, actually ends up, saving you a lot. So, any questions?
With the inventory management system that you put in place, did you think about sustainability? So like if you lost a card or something?
No, at that point, no. So they'd have to go ahead and have to fill out another card. So they do every month, they do go through and do actual inventory. So that's how he kind of double checks also to make sure that there has been in the past, students will come in and just grab something because they know where it's at. So he's kind of tried to keep the students out of there, but that's what he also does in his monthly inventory, is goes through and verifies his counts. So
the manager is the one that determines the reorder quantity.
Exactly, yeah, kind of through his knowledge and stuff of being there over the number of years. He does have kind of his current system is having an Excel sheet, and he just kind of goes through, like I said, the monthly process, so that's what he uses, and then kind of finds out, hey, we're out of this component, so he'll go ahead and reorder, but that's kind of what he's using right now.
Your 5S initiative,
Mm-hmm.
now, you did, I think you stated something about ensuring there was space allocated for different people's tools.
Correct.
How did you guys solve that solution in identifying a space available, ensuring there's always space available for these tool carts or?
So what we ended up doing is, there was 3 carts that they would bring in and go ahead and store. So what we did is kind of spaced them evenly apart so each cart could be pulled out. And then we actually took tape and applied that to the floor and then designated that area, so just for the cart specifically, so.
Any other questions for Randy? Good job, Randy.